Theo, a 2-0 victory for Liverpool in the first leg of their Champions League quarter-final against Porto at Anfield last night. What are your general thoughts on the game? It didn't feel like a European quarter-final, did it?
No, it was a strange one. I was at the Bayern Munich first leg as well, and that was probably the best atmosphere I've ever experienced at Anfield. This one, I think it just says a lot about Liverpool's league push, that it's almost an afterthought, and now they've accidentally found their way into the semi-finals.
Almost.
The crowd, obviously, they were getting behind the lads, they were cheering. Naby Keita settled any nerves early on, and then it felt very routine. It felt like a bit of a dead rubber, which is quite strange, really, when it's the first leg in a quarter-final. Doing the papers roundup today, you had quite a few of the journalists pointing out that it's not really the traditional European night we're expecting.
Yeah. Do you think that says a lot about the level perhaps Liverpool are now at in a European scale?
Yeah, definitely. It shows how far they've come in 18 months. It's if we think back to the Porto first leg last year, that was probably the real first game where teams took notice of Liverpool. So now in just over 12 months, that you can almost disregard Champions League games because they're going for these competitions at every level.
Yeah. Okay, the midfield had a huge effect. Naby Keita put in a very good performance, scored his first Anfield goal, his second goal in as many games. What did you make of his performance? And Jordan Henderson played in a more advanced role alongside him.
With Naby Keita, I think the most telling part was the defensive side of his game as well. We're used to seeing him with the ball at his feet, running forward, beating players. Obviously now he's got a couple of goals, and there was one run late on where he just ran and ran. He was unlucky not to get a good cross in. But it was his pressing. It was really a Jurgen Klopp sort of performance from him. There was one moment, I think, when Casillas played it short, Porto tried to counter-attack, and he was straight on the player, chasing him halfway across the pitch, and they had to give it back to Casillas. And if he can keep that up, he's going to be a really big player for Liverpool. As for Jordan Henderson, he's looked like a player who's wanted to do that role for 3 years and hasn't been allowed to. He's finally off the leash. What a pass for his role in the second goal. We saw him under Brendan Rodgers, how important he could be as a box-to-box midfielder. With a month of the season to go, maybe he could have the same impact again.
Great. Confident going into the second leg?
I think you've got to be, haven't you, after a 2-0 lead. Liverpool have never lost a 2-0 lead in a first leg of a European game.
And Porto have never won, having been 2-0 down.
And even if you do 2-goal advantages, the only time Liverpool have exited competition was Inter Milan, 1965. That was quite controversial for some of our older listeners, viewers. So you've got to be confident. We saw last year what Liverpool can do to Porto. They probably would have got an away goal if Morega's finishing had been a bit better, but job done, you'd hope.